Welcome to Beyond the Lift Hill, the podcast where we talk about everything in the world of theme parks.
We're two brothers who live for the thrill and adventure, bringing you reviews and deep dives into the best parks around.
Because every park has a story, and we're here to tell it.
Welcome into Beyond the Lift Hill. It's been a while. How you been?
It has. It has been a little while. When was our? I won't even ask when our last podcast was. I think it's been a while, but we'll. I guess we're going to try to get back to it a little more regularly now.
I hope so. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about Holiwood Nights. We had an interesting ticket experience there, getting tickets, and then maybe we'll talk about Dollywood's new attraction, NightFlight.
Yeah.
That's come next spring.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming fast. So it was 8 weeks from yesterday until opening day at Dollywood, so it can't get here fast enough. Don't think the new attraction will be ready to go on opening day, but hopefully late spring, early summer at the latest. But I think everybody's kind of anticipating somewhere probably in the month of May. So that's what we're shooting for.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
It's an interesting ride, isn't it? Like, it's got a bunch of different components to it. It's not just going to be a roller coaster.
It does, yeah. So there's like 4 different components to it. So like you soar through the Smokies, you'll have like a white water rafting experience, be a little bit of a roller coaster as well. And then you just can't remember exactly what the 4th one is, but a lot of bioluminescence involved in the ride. It's going to be, the train itself is like a boat-shaped train, but you're supposedly going to have like a boating experience, a flying experience, and then, like I said, a little bit of a coaster. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I know. Every time I went to Dollywood, the building kept getting bigger and bigger for their line.
Yeah, it's like 44,000 square feet, I believe. So it's you see it on camera, and a lot of people will say, okay, it doesn't look that big. And I kind of agree. On camera, you don't really get a feel for it. But then once you get there, being able to ride the train this past year, especially as we got later into the season, you can see just how massive of a building it is. It's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a good ride, and Dollywood
absolutely
more indoors.
Right. Yeah. It'll be our second fully indoor ride along with Blazing Fury. So it'll be nice to have something that, going to the park that you can ride no matter the weather conditions, and just really, really glad that we're getting a second indoor attraction.
Yeah. Speaking of Blazing Fury, that ride opened again after a refurbishment, right?
It did, yeah. Yeah. So the coaster itself is well over 40 years old.
Yeah.
So had a refurbishment during this season. Of course, this past season was the 40th anniversary, and so got some retracking to it, did some improvements on the audio. I think there was maybe some lighting improvement as well. Did some things with some of the animatronics. So just really what it done, it took what was already a really good classic ride at Dollywood, maybe the classic ride, and just made it that much better. Because one of my concerns was, okay, it's an older ride. You don't really want to lose the feel of what Blazing Fury is. And I think they did a really good job of keeping everything exactly as it was, which for me was a good thing, but also adding to what was already a great experience.
Yeah. I thought it
also brought the waterfall back. That was really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, that's Dollywood, and I think we're both planning on going to Holiday World at some point this upcoming year. Are there any other parks you're planning to go to next year?
Yes and no. Have some ideas for all kinds of parks, so we'll see. You always want to try to do Disney. Not sure if we'll make it down there this year or not, but you never know. Got some other parks in mind as well, so probably won't mention now, just in case we go to some of them or we don't go to some of them. But yeah, that's always the goal, is to get to as many as we can. Would definitely love to get back up to Kings Island this year if possible. I guess I will mention Kentucky Kingdom, because we definitely want to get up there for Flying Fox. And I still haven't seen the newest area there either. Yeah, would be good to get up there and definitely see that.
Yeah. I thought Discovery Meadow was a great addition to Kentucky Kingdom. It really sets the tone for what I think that park's going to be. So yeah, I think it's nice. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't get to their Christmas event this year. I wanted to go, but every time we'd planned to go, it was so cold, and the whole point of the Christmas event was to take the kids, and I just couldn't brave taking them out in like 19-degree weather.
Yeah, yeah, that's too cold. Yeah, and I also would love to get there for Christmas, but yeah, it's hard sometimes, especially when you get later in the year, colder weather in our part of the country. So yeah, totally understandable, but it is a great event for sure.
It is, yeah. Ooh, okay, so we've talked about all the parks we wanna go to. Let's think about Holiday World and how much of a debacle the ticketing experience was trying to get tickets for this Holiwood Nights event. So I went last year. It was the same thing, like, really hard to get tickets, and you wanted to go last year, but we just couldn't. I don't think we could get enough tickets or something
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Maybe there was something else that came up too, but anyway, we managed to get 2 tickets this time. We wanted more again, but yeah, what was your thoughts on that whole process?
So they go fast for sure. Yeah, we tried it. So it was me, you believe your wife had tried, my wife had tried to get tickets. Yeah. Out of all four of us, one of us got a code. So, yeah, and of course, the code, that gives you access to two tickets if you choose to purchase those. I will say that's one good thing about it. You don't have to purchase the tickets right away.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. If you get the code and then, something comes up, you're not committing to that right on the spot. So I do like that they give you a little bit of flexibility with that. But it was what, January, I think recently, right? January 15th maybe was the
yeah,
cutoff
or
date. So
by
course,
by
we
the
got our tickets and, we'll be going the weekend after Memorial Day. Do I have that right?
that's right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but to kind of circle back to your original question, yeah, it's really hard to get the tickets, and obviously we do Disney a lot, so I'm very familiar with the whole. You got to book a lightning lane right away, or get your virtual queues when they've had those in the past. So, I tend to do fairly well, when I'm trying to book something in a quick amount of time, but yeah, Hollywood Nights, that's been about as difficult as anything I've ever tried to get.
Yeah, it is. I never wanna criticize a park or anything because they put on the event itself is just really, really great, but the whole, like, getting the tickets to the event has to improve somehow. I mean, just, like, there's the fact that you can only get 2 tickets, but then once you have those tickets, you can't give them to anybody. Like, you can't sell them if you didn't wanna go. So, there's a ton of people who get the codes who just don't purchase tickets that could have otherwise been filled by other people. It's really a hard thing because you might end up with pretty low attendance if a lot of people don't purchase. And for the people that go, that's great.
Right.
Like that's not
So that's
not a bad
interesting.
good good.
That's interesting because what would you estimate a rough number of the amount of people that maybe get eligibility, when you're trying to first get the option to buy tickets versus how many don't actually pay? Do you have any kind of guess on what percentage? 25%? You think it's higher, lower?
It's probably 25. I mean, knowing Holiday World, they are really good about thinking about the details, and so I'm sure they're looking at the data around this, and they're saying, like, we expect a certain number of people not to buy, and they probably know that some people are gonna get 2 tickets, but they needed 4, and so they're probably counting on that to make the event the size that it is.
Mhm.
But it just feels there's something about it that just feels wasteful, even though it probably isn't, just given how Holiday World probably looks at the data.
Right. So obviously, I've never been. This will be my first year going, but I know you've been at least once, right? Twice?
Just once. Just
Okay.
once.
So, in your experience, how how busy is the park? Because I think we've kind of talked off camera, and it seems like at least the perception I get is during this event, and we'll get into the time frame here in a minute, but during this event, it's almost like the Voyage more or less is a typical line. Do I have that right?
No, the Voyage is crazy long, but it's just because everyone is concentrated there because they're running the
Right.
Voyage at night, which is a rare thing for Holiday World because Holiday World usually closes, during the regular season at, like, 8, 7 or 8, and it's before it's pitch dark. So,
Gotcha.
that's a pretty rare thing. I mean, in the fall, they run it at night during what is that event called? Friday Night Live event.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of people, yeah, they wanna ride it at night, but they also run it trimless, so it goes super fast. So there's a huge line at Voyage, but everywhere else in the park is dead.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So based on that, then the rest of the park with having limited tickets, I mean, you could really you could really rack up a lot of rides, right? I mean, we're talking.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say between the other rides in a you know, tell me the time again. What is the actual time frame for this event each night?
It went until midnight, I think
Okay,
both night maybe it was 11 p.m. the first night and midnight the second night, but it went pretty late.
okay, so it's like 6 to midnight, is that right? 5 to midnight?
Yeah, 5 or 6 that they start clearing out the park early. It may be 7. It may be as late
Okay,
as 7. 'Cause I
okay,
think
so
actually, I think what they did last year was they had all the attendees of the event go and eat dinner between 6 and 7, and that's when they were getting people out of the park so that then the event started at 7. But you get
okay,
dinner
so we'll
afterwards.
just say for that 5-hour time frame, you could ride all the other 4 coasters. Is it fair to say you could get 20 rides? Is that too much?
Easily, yeah,
Too less? Okay,
all the other rides are walk-ons. I mean, I literally
okay,
went and I was on Thunderbird by myself.
okay. Right. Okay, so flipping that, if your sole goal was to go with the intention of only riding the Voyage in a 5-hour frame, how many rides are you get? 5? Think once an hour?
No, probably I
Less?
would say last year I got 2 rides on the Voyage total during the event, and,
Okay.
one of those was on the first night, which was very reasonable wait time. So I probably could have gotten more on the first night, but I assumed the first night was gonna be like the second night, and the second night, it's like people have this fear of missing out, like, they're only gonna ride the second
Because
night.
it's the last night, so they
It's the
know if they
last
don't
night,
get
so
it. Yeah.
yeah, but, I mean, yeah, it was, the line for Voyage started wrapping around, even the queue line itself, so it started going outside of the queue line this last time.
So, what's the strategy? If okay, let me ask you this. Let's say the event is 7 until midnight. What time can you actually get access to the park if you're going with just a Hollywood Nights ticket?
The whole day. You can go when the
Okay,
park.
so it gets you in the whole day.
Yep, it includes the whole day, and then during the day on, the first day, they usually do some sort of behind the tour scenes, tour, and then they'll give you, I think lunch is included and snacks, but the first day, they a lot of times have the snacks set up over in Splash and Safari, and, yeah, that's so that all happens during the day before the event actually starts, and then the second day, I know there's lunch. I don't know if they're gonna do any other sort of behind the tour scenes on the second day, but there's usually something during the day for people who are attending.
Gotcha. So they do lunch Friday and Saturday? Is that what I understood?
That's what I remember from last year. Maybe it's just Saturday, but feel like I feel like there was at least snacks or something in Splash and Safari before
Okay.
they opened that for early access. So maybe it wasn't like a full lunch, but it was definitely enough to get me full.
Gotcha. Okay. So circling back to, I guess, the craziness of the voyage. So let's say on each day, your goal was to get a ride on the voyage at least once. And I know for some that might sound crazy because it's like we're definitely riding more than once, but just for the sake of strategy. So you get access to the park all day Friday. At what point does the park, and I'm just asking as somebody that literally doesn't know, like,
Yeah.
do they start not allowing people in the line for Voyage at a certain time that doesn't have Hollywood Nights tickets? Are you familiar with any of that?
No, because you're saying so they can't like take it away from people who have the Hollywood Nights tickets?
Well, basically what I'm saying is like say the event starts at 7, if you've got people that don't have a ticket in line to ride, at what point do they say you can't get in line for the ride if you don't have a ticket for Hollywood Nights? Is that like a 6 o'clock cutoff? Do they let you go right up until 7?
No, it would be so they take an hour. From what I remember last year, they take an hour to clear out the park, so that gives them enough time to let people get in the queue line right up until like 6, and then the Hollywood Nights event doesn't start till 7. And these
Okay,
are somewhat made up times just to give the
sure.
example. It may be different this year, but like yeah, let's say Hollywood Nights starts at 7, park closes at 6 to regular attendees. Then you could get up in the line all the way up until 6, and then there's enough buffer there where they can get everybody out of the park before they release
Right.
the attendees onto the park, you know?
Gotcha. That makes sense, and I think that's fair. One other thing I would add, so if you are an attendee for Hollywood Nights, like, at what point can you almost try to, I guess, rope drop the Voyage, can you get in line prior to 7, or are you saying that they keep it closed and then there's a certain time that they start allowing people in for Hollywood Nights?
Yeah, they will keep you confined over in the picnic area. So they keep that closed off until the event starts. Once you go back there, they really don't let you leave the park. And then at 7 or close to 7, people
Yeah.
will start lining up to leave. And those are the people that are going to rope drop. Voyage.
Okay. So
But
so
there's a lot of people still
basically
eating, so it doesn't.
so basically your goal is to almost rope drop the picnic area so you can be one of the first out of the
To
gate,
eat.
so to speak.
Yeah,
Voyage. Okay.
that's what I've.
Don't
That's what
don't
I
ask
did.
me why I'm asking all this, but,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Devising a strategy.
Yeah, yeah, so that might be the strategy right there. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, and again, I get the Voyage is kind of the big draw at, Holiday World, but to me, it's almost like, okay, if you can get one good ride in on it,
Yeah.
do that, and then wear out all the other coasters, right? Because 'Cause I'm
Well,
just thinking maximum amount of rides.
and the Voyage is my favorite coaster, and I rode it on opening day last year. I rode it 7 or 8 times during the day, but it when it's running at Hollywood Nights, like with as fast as it's running, it's not one that I would necessarily say you wanna you'd want to marathon anyway. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
To me, it's like you get on Voyage, great. You get that ride in. It's gonna change your life, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I've rode it once. It's probably the roughest ride I think that I've rode. I don't know, that wood coaster at Kentucky Kingdom's kinda
Yeah, but
crazy,
think about
but
this, you rode it during the day when it wasn't even.
right. Yeah, when everything was, like, normal, right?
Yeah, right. It's so much crazier at night, not only just because you can't see the turns, so it's a little bit rougher because you don't know what to expect, but it's just faster. But anyway, I think, like, it's one of those you wouldn't want a marathon anyway, so, like, you ride it once, then you get off and you walk over to Good Gravy. You get a couple on
Right,
Thunderbird, very smooth, and then, yeah, you could maybe as you're going back to the Legend or Raven, maybe you see how the line is as you're going by
right.
and see if maybe it makes sense to get another ride on it, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's a really good event. I'm looking forward to going with you.
right. Yeah, absolutely can't wait. I know it's something we've been wanting to do for a few years, and so glad that, Lord willing, glad that we'll be able to finally do it together this year, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be cool to one year get a big group together to go.
Yeah,
Not only
yeah,
just our family, but maybe some other friends that we have in the coaster
right.
community or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah, would love to do that.
Yeah, but cool. All right, well, I know you got some things to do today. I got some things to do, but we wanted to get back here and just
Yeah, yeah, no, I think we should just kinda point out that, this podcast has been, fair to say months at this point in the making, so we really. Yeah, yeah. So just to kind of touch on what you said, we really have tried to get back to it, and just like I know you've been busy with some projects, and we've been busy with finishing up the Dollywood season and kind of looking into what we're doing, in this off season for Dollywood, and then we got another season coming up in less than 2 months. So, yeah, all that to say, yeah, we need to try to get back to this more regularly, and I'm sure we'll figure out some kind of schedule for it. But yeah, I guess that's about all I have to add.
all right, cool. Well, yeah, if you like this episode, like, subscribe, ring that notification bell for more. And yeah, we will see you all next time.
All right. Sounds good. Take care, guys.